Namaste. Good afternoon to one and all. I am Akansha Singh, Research Officer at Tathagat Buddha Chair, Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies. We are here at the second guest lecture on Science and Application of Samadhi and Vipassana Meditation, organized by Tathagat Buddha Chair, Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies. Now, I would like to introduce you to the objective of the lecture. Discovery of inner awareness from a completely new perspective, gaining insight into your mind via real-time brain activity measurement and long-term tracking. Now let's discuss the tentative schedule of the lecture. We will start by chanting by Bhikkhu Shanga, then we have a welcome note by Ms. Pallavi Tyagi, then we have inaugural address by Dr. V.P. Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekananda Subharti University. After that, we have a lecture by Alan Hsiao, Director Bhavana Technology, Taiwan. Then we have lecture by Most Venerable Acharya Kinley from Bhutan. Then we have remark by Most Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation, New Delhi. And after that, we have report by Dr. Bharati, followed by vote of thanks by Akansha Singh, myself. Now, I will brief you about the university. Swami Vivekananda Subharti University is a university under Section 2F of the University Commission Act 1956, set up under the Swami Vivekananda University Vidyalaya, Uttar Pradesh, Adhiniyam 2008. The university has been established under the aegis of Mahayana Theravada Vajrayana Buddhist Religious and Charitable Trust, Meerut, which has acquired a commendable record of service in the field of education, healthcare and social welfare. The main campus of the university is in the National Capital Region, strategically situated on the National Highway 58, Delhi Bypass Road, Meerut. The campus, aptly called Subhartipuram, is spread over a sprawling area of about 250 acres of land, comprising magnificent buildings, lush green lawns, and vibrant surroundings, with over 5,000 people dedicated to make the university a magnus opus in the world. The university has several constituent colleges which provide higher education in mostly all the disciplines like medical, dental, nursing, physiotherapy, paramedical, pharmacy, naturopathy, yogic science, engineering, management, law, journalism, education, library, arts and science, hotel management, faculty of science, Buddhist studies, etc. is engaged by design to create academically and technically proficient professionals. The university has been awarded the membership of Association of Indian University in 2013. All India Conference of Intellectuals and School of Educators have conferred outstanding University of the Year 2013 to 14 to the university for its outstanding contribution in the field of education, science, healthcare, national integration, social empowerment, and preservation of cultural heritage. The university has also started a number of courses through distance education approved by the Distance Education Board of UGC, formerly by a joint committee of UGC, AICTE, DEC. The university has been accorded a grade A by NAC Council in 2016. Now, I would like to brief you about the university, the Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies, SASSBS. It is an international Buddhist college established by Swami Vivekananda Subharti University, Meerut, India, as its constituent college by the initiation of Dr. Shalya Raj, CEO of Swami Vivekananda Subharti University, an academician and social activist, along with Dr. Hirohito, founding director of Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies, whose inspiration led to the founding of Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies, a world-class center of Buddhist learning. Their brilliant thoughts were responded to beyond expectation by Buddhist delegates from 13 countries who participated in a pre-inaugural SASSBS conference at university campus. At this historic meeting on 10th March 2018, the Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies was founded in the principle, and it was decided to formally inaugurate the SASSBS in the Vaisakh month of 2018. It marked the first event in the history of district when Buddhists, laity and Sangha of nearly all sects in the Buddhists represented and gathered for the same purpose. The progress of Buddhist studies On this historical occasion, about 130 Buddhist monks, scholars, and teachers from 13 countries paid homage to a Bodhi tree, which has been found in Swami Vivekananda Subharti University, Meerut, UP, campus near years by local horticulture authorities in 2018. Historically, Meerut has been under vast influence of Buddhist culture. Emperor Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Sultan is said to have learned about this Ashokan pillar existing in Meerut in the 14th century and he got it transported to Delhi. Some historians are of the opinion that this magnificent structure was built by the Mauryan Emperor Ashok in the 3rd century and that is perhaps how it derived its name. Now, I would like to tell you about the Tathagat Buddha Chair. The Tathagat Buddha Chair was established in 2019 under the specialized guidance of Dr. Shalyaraj, the CEO of Swami Vivekananda Subharti University. The chair serving as a center of learning and research not only on the subject concerning to Tathagat Buddha and his philosophy, but also on the issues concerning the socio-economic, cultural, religious life, peace, meditation, yoga, etc. In pursuance of its objective, the chair is undertaking research on the topics related to Tathagat Buddha. The chair time to time also organizing teaching, seminars, symposium, workshops, exhibition, lecture series, and other similar academic activities. Now, I would like to introduce you all to our sponsor, the International Buddhist Confederation. The International Buddhist Confederation (IBC) is a global umbrella Buddhist body headquartered in New Delhi, India, established under the patronage of Supreme Buddhist Religious Hierarchy. It currently has a membership drawn from 39 countries of over 320 organizations, both monastic and lay, that include world bodies, national and regional federations, orders, temple bodies, and monasteries, and etc. The IBC was conceived in August 2011 during at an international workshop in Delhi, where delegates from 11 countries unanimously agreed on the need to form a new international Buddhist umbrella body that would serve as a common platform for Buddhists worldwide. United by the motto Collected Wisdom, United Voice, IBC aimed to make Buddhist values and principles as a part of the global discourse by presenting a united Buddhist voice on issues that concern all humankind. The IBC stands for transparency, inclusiveness, and a balanced representation of various traditions, gender, bodies, both monastic and lay, and emerging Buddhist communities in Africa, the Caribbean, and South America, praised by followers from Buddha Dharma around the world for including both Sangha and laity in its governing structure. The IB has been hailed by the international media as a forward-looking, inclusive, credible, and action-oriented world Buddhist umbrella body. The IBC also stands for the enshrinement of holy relics and the preservation, development, and promotion of Buddhist heritage worldwide, especially the holy sites of Bodh Gaya in India, where Buddha attained enlightenment, awakening, and Lumbini in Nepal, his birthplace. Now we have a chanting by Bhikkhu Anand Sangha and other Sangha members.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vaisasarana sampanno sugato lokavidu naunaro purisa dhammasarati saddhaneva manosanam buddho bhagava Sakano Bhagavata Dhammo Sandetiko Akaliko Ehibasiko Opanehiko Bisadam Veditabo Vinyuhi Sobribano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Usobadipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyayabadipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samizadipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadiyan Sadari Purisa Yukani Atha Purisa Pukala Isa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Auneya Pauneya Yakineya Intanikaniya Naudara Muyakedan Vakasa Ovatu Sabha Mingalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Buddha Nubhavena Sarasuki Bhavantu Te Bhavantu Sabha Mingalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Dhamma Nubhavena Sarasuki Bhavantu Te Bhavantu Sabha Mingalam Rakantu Sabha Devata Sabha Sangha Nubhavena Sarasuki Bhavantu Te Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Dr. Anand Bantu. Now, I would like to request Ms. Pallavi Tyagi, Assistant Professor at Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, to take this session forward. Namo tassa bhagavato arhato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arhato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Most Venerable Sangha, Honorable Sir, Madam, dear brothers and sisters in Dhamma, on the behalf of my fellow members of Tathagat Buddha Chair, Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, Meerut, I would like to welcome our chief guest of the day, Most Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation, New Delhi, Chair of the session, Dr. VP Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekanand Subharati University, our special guest, Most Venerable Acharya Kinsley Gyaltsen from Bhutan, our guest speaker, Engineer Alan Hsiao, Director Bhavana Technology, Taiwan. We have a closing note by Dr. Bharati, Assistant Professor, University of Delhi. I also welcome all the participants who have joined us from different virtual platforms for the second lecture on science application of Samadhi and Vipassana meditation. This is the second lecture organized on Buddhism and science lecture series by Tathagat Buddha Chair, Samrat Ashok Subharati School of Buddhist Studies, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University. The first lecture was organized on 13th December 2019. Once again, we are pleased to welcome you all and extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the members who are new to this session and the members who are already associated with this lecture series for some time now. Before landing into the topic directly, let us have an inaugural address from Dr. VP Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekanand Subharati University. Vice Chancellor Sir has graduated from LLRM Medical College, Meerut in 1975, and soon after he joined Army Medical Services. After 33 years of distinguished services, he retired from the Army as a brigadier in 2010. During service, he did his post-graduation in MD Anesthesiology and PhD in Anesthesiology from AFMC Pune University and fellowship certificate course in cardiac anesthesiology from a premier institute, IIMS, that is AIMS, New Delhi. He has published more than 40 scientific papers in national and international index journals. Under his leadership and professional excellence, the Department of Anesthesiology and critical care at Swami Vivekanand Subharti University's Subharati Medical College progressed leaps and bounds. He was also given the additional responsibility of vice principal and additional chief medical superintendent, SMC. He had been chairman of the Hospital Management Committee, Hospital Infection Control Committee, Clinico Pathological Conference, and Death Audits. Presently, he is also the senior member of Task Force of Subharti Hospital for the COVID-19 pandemic. With his professional acumen and administrative skills, hospital services as a whole showed dramatic progress related to patient care delivery and outcomes. He joined Swami Vivekanand Subharti University as Vice Chancellor with effect from 1st September 2020. Now, I would like to request Dr. VP Singh, our Vice Chancellor, to address us. Over to you, sir. So you need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please carry on.
Okay. Yeah. Namaskar, Jai Hind. I am very happy to be associated with today's event, which is something very unique, but so dear to all the human beings, that School of Buddhist Studies at Subharti University, under the Tathagat Buddha Chair, the series of lectures, the second one, has been organized under the leadership of Dr. Hirohito, who is Karta Dharta of Buddhist Studies School and the programs. Now the topic is so good and so apt in the present context, like science and application of Samadhi and Vipassana meditation. Now this is something people know, but actually they don't know what is all about. We hear the things in piecemeal. Possibly we have not understood the subject, and this is the opportunity that we are part of it, and we should listen what the dignitaries we have joined today, this webinar, they should be able to talk about this, and we will all be benefited with their knowledge and wisdom. As I understand that Samadhi and Vipassana meditation, this is a subject which is close to my heart as such, because Samadhi we used to study or read in Patanjali Yoga. That was the final limb of Ashtanga Yoga, eighth limb, or the last limb, or the final limb. And what I understand that when we say Samadhi, there used to be two phases of Samadhi, that you forget about your body and your consciousness is with your object with whom you get absorbed. You go away, you don't remember about your body, but you come back. And there can be Samadhi where you don't come back. But that is the highest form. You may come or may not come back, but still you have the control and body is available to get back into it. But the whole process which we do is basically to get peace of mind, and we connect with the universe. Similarly, Vipassana, which is very popular and very common or very ancient mode of meditation, which most of people know about it, and many institutes, they're conducting courses of 10-day courses, where when you do this meditation, you visualize your breath as it is. Unlike in other meditation, where there various techniques are used, here actually there is no technique is required. You just sit and visualize. And ultimately, you get the peace of mind, and you become something, you get connected with yourself, and that's what everybody is aiming to get. And the final aim is to get the happiness. And happiness can only come when you have got a peace of mind. So I believe that Vipassana, a technique which is so important for today's life when we are so busy, so committed, running after so many things, materialistic things we want to achieve. There is nothing wrong in that, in doing that. But at the same time, I feel that people should not forget and should not disconnect from the roots which were taught under various ancient techniques like Vipassana meditation in Hinduism as well as in Buddhism, where these things has been taught time and again, emphasized by all the gurus to make the human beings or humans peaceful and live happily. Not only that, this also gives the opportunity, once you are happy yourself, then you want to see others also happy, and the whole universe and all the community, all people around you will be happy. So this is the gist of the things which we need to understand, recognize, and practice in our lives. So I am happy that today, that as I was hearing just a few minutes back, that many learned people in the stream of Buddhism who believe in Buddhism are connected on this platform, and they are going to share their thoughts, which we all will be benefited. And I wish the very best, that program goes, I'm sure, will be very successful, and everybody whoever is connected will be benefited immensely. With these words, I would like to once again wish you all the best. Jai Hind, Jai Subharti.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. Now, I would like to welcome Alan Hsiao for the delivery of the lecture. Alan Hsiao was born in Taiwan and grew up in Canada. He received an honors degree in software engineering from the University of Toronto. Since then, he has been working as a software specialist for many years. He has played a key role in designing and developing softwares for international corporations such as Fox TV in Europe, National Geographic channels in the United States, and many more. He is also an experienced meditator practicing Vipasana for more than 10 years. Over the years, he has done many retreats in India, Europe, United States, Japan, and Taiwan, and participated in organizing many meditation camps for adults and children. In recent years, he has carried out various researches on the neuroscience of meditation, collaborating with professionals from different fields such as psychology, musicology, etc. In 2019, he found Bhavana Science, whose mission is to promote the science of meditation and mindful living with the help of neurofeedback application. So now I would like to welcome Alan Hsiao, our own very commonly known as our friend Dada. So welcome Dada for your enlightenment
Thank
to
you.
us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your welcome message. And it is my privilege to be here to share the research we have done for the science of mindfulness. And today I will talk about in a more generic perspective of mindfulness instead of talking about meditation, but I would like to talk in a broader sense so everybody can relate to. So today's agenda. So first of all, I will talk about the relationship between the brain and the mind, what the scientist has discovered about what kind of brain activities will manifest when there's certain type of mental states. And also, I'm going to share with you the data analysis we have performed based on monitoring the brain activities of meditators and non-meditators. And also, the state of mindfulness. What's mindfulness and why is it important to us? And then I will share the app with you. The app is developed with the purpose of sharing, the message of Vipassana and also Samatha, so people will get a more scientific understanding on the principle of these different type of meditations. And also there are different ways of promoting mindfulness way of living, but today I will emphasize the way that we use, which is the way of science. And then I will end with a Q&A session. So if you have any questions during the session, you are free to ask on the Facebook channel or also on YouTube channel. So the host will forward your message to me, so I will answer them as many as I can. Okay. So before we dive into the brain and the mind, what's the relationship between them? So I would like you to reflect on what you have been doing the entire day. So in the morning, we will normally wake up, like this, we'll see the sunshine through the window. We can hear the birds chirping outside the window. So we get up, we go to the washroom, and then we splash some cold water on our face so we can feel the coolness of the water. And as we make our breakfast and morning coffee, we can smell the wonderful fragrance of the food or the beverage. And we can taste the delicious food with our taste buds. So what role does our brain play in these scenarios? So actually, we're perceiving the outside world through our 5 sense organs, which is our ears, our nose, our eyes, our taste buds, and our skins and body. So this information gets transmitted through the nerve system and all the way into our brain. So different regions of the brain will start, activated and then start performing different judgments, calculations, and make some decisions. So as we go to work or go to school, we're busy all the time. The mind becomes so focused with so many things at hand, and then we interact with people we come across during the day. So we may find ourselves in some stressful situations. So we developed like tension or a lot of anxiety within us. So at the end of the day, we are so exhausted. So we go back home, we sit on the couch, try to relax ourselves. At this moment, the mind starts wandering off to different subjects. So different thoughts pop up in the mind, like things happen in the past or imagination about the future. So there's no sequence of thoughts. And we are often haunted by worries and distress. In the evening, we call it a day and retire to bed. And not for long, we fall asleep. After a long day of work, the brain finally gets its rest. However, we cannot remain in this sleep for too long. There's a lot of anxiety, fear, anger, worry. They might manifest themselves as different plots and scenes in our dreams. So this will last probably the entire night until we wake up. So in all these 3 scenarios, the first type of mind is called the work mode. The brain is so focused, but restless. So mind is full of tension and anxiety. The second one is a rest mode. So the brain is very relaxed, but it wanders a lot. Our mind is full of worries and distress. And the third mode is sleep mode. The brain is alternating between deep sleep and REM sleep. And the mind is so dull and numb. So is there any other state of mind we can experience, like the true peace and harmony within us, like free from any tension, anxiety, stress, and worries? So I will come back to this question. But before that, I will try to explain to you the relationship between the mental state and the brain activities. So throughout the years, the various study has been showing our brain was actually reflects our different mental states. Like different frequency of brain waves correspond to different mental states, such as the beta wave will represent like awake mode. So when we're awake, and we would normally generate this beta like frequency. And when we relax ourselves, we will be physically and mentally relaxed, and alpha wave will be produced in this scenario. And then delta theta is when we go to sleep. And finally, the gamma wave is for highlighted perceptions. So based on these scientific researches, and we have done some studies of our own by performing experiments on meditators and non-meditators, we have found 2 important aspects, key performance indicators, and we transform them into easy to read graphs to let people understand how our state of mind changes over time. The first one we call calmness level. So initially, the subject will experience an agitated state of mind. So the graph will become very steep. And as he calms down his mind, he will become more peaceful and harmonious. So you will see this graph become more flat. So this performance indicator we call the calmness is a very key importance for analyzing samatha type of meditation. And the second one we call the awareness level. When the subject experiences with a distracted mind, you will see the awareness is very low. But as he becomes more concentrated on some subjects, like for example on the breath or on the body sensations, the mind becomes so sharp and so alert. So you see the second part of the session, the awareness will increase. So with these two performance indicators, we come back to these three modes we talked about previously. The first one, we can see that when we are busy at work, we are very busy and attentive, and our awareness will increase naturally. But when we are in some stressful situations and there's a lot of tension, then the awareness will become very low. So you see the restless percentage is very high in this case. So generally speaking, so it's very high on awareness and low on calmness. So the second mode, the rest mode. So the mind feels very peaceful, but at the same time we lose our attention. So the mind is very scattered, full of thoughts. So it's high on the calmness and low on awareness. And during sleep mode, the activity of the mind. So when we lose our consciousness, we become peaceful, but sometimes there's agitations, sometimes there's peace of mind. So we have no control of it. So I think the fourth state of mind, which is very important to all human beings, which is the state of mindfulness. The word mindfulness carries so many meanings, so we need to go back to the origin of the word mindfulness. So it was actually from the ancient tradition of meditation, first introduced by the Gautama Buddha more than 200 and 500 years ago. It was translated from the Pali word sati. There are so many meanings, which such as the quality of being stay awake, aware of something, the mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment, while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. And to be mindful, one has to remain calm and quiet, while being alert and attentive from moment to moment. So as we can see, this is very different from the work mode. So we can become very concentrated, but at the same time, we don't let ourselves develop this anxiety within us. And it is also different from the state of rest mode. We are very relaxed and we don't let ourselves fall into idleness and laziness. And also it's different from sleep mode. Our consciousness is always awake during the mindful state of mind. So without being mindful, our brain jumps from in between two extremities, like from excessively active to overly idle. As a result, we suffer from overexcitement, pressure, agitation, to boredom, sadness, depression from time to time. So let's take a look about on the brain activity patterns of mindfulness. So being mindful will feel a sense of peace and joy and happiness. So only when we are mindful, which means being calm and aware at the same time, we are with the present moment. It helps us to remain creativity and efficiency in the long run. So as you can see in the graph, so high on both calmness and awareness. And I'm going to introduce you to the app that we have developed. The purpose of the app is to let people discover the inner awareness from a completely new perspective, to gain insight into the mind via the real-time brain activity monitoring and long-term tracking. So with the app, we can visualize the brain activities in real time. So there's a saying that seeing is believing. So you can see how your state of mind changes from moment to moment with live data analysis. And we also incorporate this environmental sound feedback. So when the mind becomes so calm, so alert, so you can hear the birds chirping. And if the mind becomes agitated and anxious, you will hear this huge loud noise of a thunder or a rainfall. So it helps us to remain calm and balance of mind. So different features with including audio and vibration feedback, and also statistical analysis of the brain activities. And you can keep track of your meditation progress and view in a daily, weekly, or monthly logs. So instead of 4 type of mind, we develop this graph based on calmness and awareness indicators. So we develop 9 different mental states, which better describe different state of mind. So on the very left-hand side, you can see very low on both high awareness and calmness. So you're becoming like a numb peak. So this is like a metaphor. And also, if you become a little bit more aware, but now you're full of worries because there's no control of mind. There's no peace of mind. You are worried all the time, like a worried ship. And if you develop awareness even further, so you are constantly agitated. So you're becoming like anxious monkey, like a monkey mind. And on the bottom side, you can see you can become more calm, like a koala, become very, very bored with idleness in the mind. And also, if you become even more relaxed, it's becoming like a sloth. You're always sleeping. And on the upper right-hand side, you can see 3 mental states, which is more related to mindfulness. One is called elephant, which is feeling a lot of peace of mind, but not enough enough awareness. If you have enough awareness but not enough like calmness, you becoming like a leopard. So the best state of mind that some people call it the state of the flow, the mental like flow of mind is called peaceful lion. You experience both peace of mind and at the same time very alert and attentive. So actually sati doesn't happen only during meditation. It could be during any time of the day, but we are just not aware of it. It's just a glimpse. So now with this technology, we can help discover our inner state of mind better. So you can, whether you are jogging, you are playing violin, or you can cooking dinner, so you can observe how the state of mind changes. If you are not concentrated enough, so you're becoming more concentrated. If you are not peaceful enough, you try to remain more peaceful. And that's what we're promoting, the mindful way of living based on science. Why we keep emphasizing science? Why can't we just go to a retreat or just read books from some sutras? I think they are all beneficial, but today we're going to be focusing on science. The reason is that I want to refer to the history of exercise. In 1927, a group of scientists from the Harvard Fatigue Laboratory, they come to study exercise. So today, we can see their pioneering work in creating the field of exercise sociology that changed the world. So today, everybody knows that exercise is good for them, not only for athletes. Everybody who wants to learn, they can learn. And people who can exercise at and near their home and workplace. So exercise is taken granted today. So when you tell your friend you're going to the gym, nobody will look at you like weird or funny. So I want the same thing happen to mental, like the mental state of mindfulness meditation. The Bhavana word actually is from the ancient Pali language. It actually means the mental cultivation of goodness, good quality of the mind, and which is another exercise of the brain and the mind. So we are now promoting the mindful way of living in schools. So we're teaching school children how to meditate. They can practice for 5-10 minutes per day, and then with the help of biofeedback technology, their progress can be measured, and they will be encouraged, be motivated to try, and they will be able to maintain their regular practice. And our mission is to help everybody to begin to understand the benefit of mindful living. So more people will start learning about the art of mindful living, and more biofeedback technologies and applications will be developed to help people to stay mindful, to stay calm and aware. So if we can continue our mindfulness practice morning and evening, we actually rewire our brain in a positive way. So we elevate our consciousness altogether. So may all of you enjoy the real benefits of mindful way of living. So keep calm and clarity. Thank you. So if you have any questions, you are free to ask.
Thank you so much, Dada. It
Thank
was
you.
really good to know about, especially about the 9 states of mind. If we'll get any questions later on after the session, we'll definitely mail you.
Sure.
Right?
Let me know.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
by
so
the end
much.
of the session, also, if we'll get any questions, we'll get back to you.
Sure.
Now,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Now, for the second lecture, I would like to invite Most Venerable Acharya Kinle Gyaltsen. He was born on 7th of March 1977 in Trongsa, Bhutan. His formal education began in 1984 when he joined a school in Paro, Bhutan. He attended the school till 1994, guided by Most Venerable Khenpo Lobsang. He renounced the materialistic life and chose to become a monk. In 1995, he joined the Central University of Tibetan Studies, Saranath, Varanasi, India. For the next 9 years, he was engaged in the study of Buddhist philosophy. In 2000, Acharya Ji was appointed as secretary of the Kagyu Committee at the Central University of Tibetan Studies. In 1997, he was helping the people of Gujarat in earthquake hit areas. In 2000, he completed his Shastri alongside learning Indian classical music. He was actively involved in translating numerous works during the exchange program between the University of Massachusetts, Tasmania University, Australia, and Central University of Tibetan Studies, India. In addition to this, he was also doing a comparative study between Buddhism and Western idealism. In 2012, he carried out the project Go Green, Go Organic in the Himalayan regions in collaboration with the Mountain Partnership, United Nations. Acharya Ji is a polyglot. He knows many languages like Tibetan, Hindi, English, Zonga, Sanskrit, and Pali. He is the author of various books, namely on Buddhism, namely Meaning of Money Mantra, Meaning of Tara Mantra, and many more in the queue. Over to you, Acharya Ji. Please enlighten us on the very topic of our lecture.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
please
you hear
continue.
me?
Yes.
So everybody, good afternoon, and I'm glad to be here on this topic, the science and the meditation and samadhi and so on. So today I will be focusing on like two main points. That is like how you see the things and events in terms of meditation and vipassana and science. Actually, this vipassana and meditation in itself is a science, actually. And see, for example, during the time of Buddha, what Buddha said is, our mind is the forerunner of everything. He says in the Dhammapada, Mano Pabangama Dhamma Mano Setta Manomaya, which means mind goes first. of everything. So mind is the forerunner of everything. So first goes the mind, then after that all the matters or events comes about. So therefore, what it says is that mind and matter are two things. Now see, for explorations during the time of the Buddha, it is a journey of inner science, or inner journey, you can say. And Buddha said that human body and human mind is one of the greatest technology, the most sophisticated technology that we have ever invented in the history of the human life, of the evolution of the beings. The human life is one of the most sophisticated and one of the technology, and it is in itself is a science. So in order to figure out what it is, then we have to know the mind first. And in order to know the mind, we have to figure out how to figure out the mind itself is through the inner process of learning or inner journey of mind and matter. So usually what we do in the modern science and technology is that we try to explore the outer world or outer behavior or activities or whatever. So in the very process, one miss the inner world, the subjective point of mind. We miss that point. So therefore, it's very important for us to figure out the mind, what mind is, and thereafter, because mind is the one forerunner. And at the same time, for example, it's something like that. Mind is like a pilot, and the matter is like an aeroplane. So in order to operate or fly the aeroplane, you need a very good and functional mind or stable mind. Otherwise, if you don't have a stable mind, you are going to crush the plane, and whole passengers would be crushed down. And so therefore, the mind need to be first and foremost, we have to take care of our mind. In the same way we take care of our body, our mind has to be taken care. So inner journey comes here, the inner technology, or what do you say, the inner science. So therefore the Vipassana comes here as a kind of very important aspect. Without Vipassana, so meditation or whatever cannot be successful. So through the mindfulness, Vipassana, if you do the Vipassana, it will give you to elevate your mindfulness, the mindfulness of your mind. When your mind is elevated with the mindfulness, and everything becomes positive and worthwhile. So now, for example, see, in the modern world, we are trying to build many things, like we are trying to solve the problem. But in the process of really trying to solve the problem, we create problems. And not only creating problem, we are trying to multiply the problems. We create 2 problems, we try to solve 2 problems, we create 4. In order to solve the 4 problems, we create 8. And we go into infinity ad absurdity. That means it proves that you have not known the subjective aspect of mind. You are just trying to figure out the objective matter. So therefore, here is where you make mistakes. So therefore, in order to understand the outside objective matter, first we have to figure out the subjective mind of the position, the subjective mind and its quality and its properties. So once mind becomes stable, then once we solve the problem within the mind, so therefore the Buddha said the problem is within the solution is within the problem, and the problem is within the mind. So therefore first we have to tackle within our mind we have to know our inner core of our mind, the mental functions, what we do. For example, anger, hatred, whatever. Everything happens within ourselves. It doesn't happen outside of us. So therefore, we have to first figure out within ourselves. So once it is understood, one we realized, or one we are aware of, one is angry, one is afraid, or one is, then that is the possibility that how we can tackle or how we can overcome. So anger, hatred, or delusions, whatever attachment, is not outside of us, it's within ourselves, it's within our mind. And it's not just the functions there, it is the one of the aspect of the mind. Therefore, we have to figure out what is the attachment, what is the anger, what is the fear. Once you understand the very nature, the core nature within our mind, anger, hatred, and all these, so it will dissolve within itself. It's like you are looking at things and events directly with the first person direct knowledge. It's not like scientific reason. You're looking through the like microscope or some kind of devices or try to figure out the outer object. That means you're already in the second person knowledge or third person knowledge. So here you have to look at it in a first person knowledge within yourself. For example, if you're having tea with the awareness that I'm having a tea, the taste and the feeling of that, and you go with it and with the awareness. So if you drink, if you eat, if you sleep, if you work, or whatever you do, so it is in the state of awareness. And if you have an awareness, then there's no such a point or such a way that you would make mistake. So if you are in awareness, then everything becomes positive and worthwhile. So therefore, like for example, we try to solve the problems of others. So we find problem even for the families, we find problem for like father, mother, or you find problem for your sister, or you find problem for your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. But you don't see the problem within yourself. If you solve the problem within yourself, all other problems is solved. No point try to solve other problems, because when you go in the outer object, then more you try to solve the problem, more complicated the problem would be, because it's infinite at absurdity. So therefore, we need to first and foremost try to hold on our mind, so calm down our mind. And for that, Buddha said, we have 6 senses. We see our things and events. From that, we get a knowledge. We hear the words, sound. From that, we get a knowledge, good, bad, whatever. And in the taste, smell, touch, and about the thinking in the mind. So these are the basis. These are the devices. These are the real devices of the scientific recoveries or invention for the mind. So mind cannot be discovered by any other external objectives. It can be discovered only the activities of the mind, like kind of, but it cannot be understood the nature of the mind. So in order to understand the nature of the mind, you have to do meditation or vipassana, because it has to be in the first person knowledge. Otherwise, you're always in the second person knowledge or third person knowledge or fourth person knowledge. Then you have no knowledge at all. Because if you're in second person knowledge or third person knowledge, you're intermediate by some other things. Then you don't have a clear understanding of the reality, the ultimate reality of mind. So therefore, one have to do the vipassana. So vipassana, the word itself, Vipasana. V means the specially or especially to Pashyana means to see. The Sanskrit word Vipasana is to see clearly, to see specifically on the mind, then everything becomes clear or understandable for everybody. So therefore, you know, if the problem within your mind is solved, then everything is solved. So therefore, like for example, we have five senses or six senses, and this is according to the Theravada tradition or common tradition. We everybody believe that we have six senses, and within the six senses we have six consciousness, and according to the six consciousness we have a kind of six outer object which interact each other. So that's why interacting with each other, then we get a knowledge. But till up to now, what happened is we have never known the internal understanding of this consciousness, the internal science. So, hello. Hello. So, internal knowledge. So, we have to first and foremost is to figure out the mind, then the six senses. So therefore, Buddha, whenever Buddha talk, Buddha give the teaching of the Vipassana. Means you have to travel, you have to journey within yourself. It is the inner journey. So only you can reach there. Otherwise, inner journey cannot be reached by walking outside or in the outer object. So therefore, it is very important that we do the meditation, we do the Vipassana, and unless and until if you have a Vipassana, I think you will not have any problem, because Buddha said, we are not trying to avoid the problem. We are trying to face the problem. But the question is how we are going to face it. We have to face it through the understanding, through the wisdom. Then only we would able to tackle out. Because all things and events, the problems comes in the world is because we don't understand the problem. So since we don't have much time, I stop here. Thank you so much for this opportunity, talks, and all this. I hope it may help everybody. My little knowledge I'm trying to share here. Anybody have a question or whatever, then we can talk later. Thank you so much.
Acharya ji. Thank you so much, Acharya ji. Our next speaker is Most Venerable Dhammapiya ji, but due to some technical issues, he is not able to join us right away. So I want to take a Q&A session right now because we are getting many questions. Because we are getting certain questions from the listeners. I think somebody has joined there. Yes, we are able to connect with most. Yes. We have connected with Most Venerable Dhammapiya ji. Yes. So, without any delays, I would like to request Most Venerable Dhammapiya ji, Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation, to address us. And I'll be giving you all Most Venerable's introduction later on, because he's right now really occupied with some of his commitments. So we'll listen to him first, and then we'll follow with the introduction. Most welcome.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi tatiyampi, Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. A very good afternoon to all the dignitaries, panelists, participants, viewers from across the globe. It is a great privilege and honor to be part of this online program, which is being organized by Swami Vivekananda Subharti University and that Samrat Ashok School of Buddhist Studies in that university in collaboration with International Buddhist Confederation, IBC. The topic is really very interesting and relevant as well. Samadhi and Vipassana, how it is scientific and how it can be applied scientifically, how the result can be achieved empirically. Samadhi is the highest stage in the practice of samatha and vipassana meditation. Definitely, when a person starts with observing the breath, anapanasati, or in today's world, there are many other techniques which start the meditation by observing the rising and falling of abdomen area. And there are some other techniques having different ways of doing the meditation. But mostly the common technique in almost all Buddhist tradition is to observe the breath and also to observe the sensations within the framework of body and mind. So when one progresses step by step, after observing the breath, getting mind concentrated, and observing the sensations that manifest in different forms within the framework of body and mind, then the concentration or mindfulness or samadhi becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. It is definitely a scientific practice because we are not doing anything speculative or engaging in some conceptual discussions. It is directly observing whatever things are manifesting in the empirical sphere. It's empirical knowledge, experiential knowledge, like science. Science starts with observation, analysis, and also then uh, outcome or the result. So, in the same way, the meditation and also this vipassana and all the techniques or traditions in Buddhism, it is empirical, experiential, so it is scientific. Whoever spends good number, good length of time and practices sincerely, regularly, persistently, one reaches the highest level of concentration, purification of the mind, that is actually samadhi. Samadhi also has different categories when we are to talk about jhanas in this respect, but the achieving of Magga and Phala, the path and fruition, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat, the four stages of spiritual achievement or attainment through the practice of Vipassana meditation, the Samadhi. The highest level is Arahashi, where the mind becomes fully purified, all defilements get totally eradicated, a person experiences practically, empirically, scientifically the result of being totally free from the suffering, the shackles of the conditioning factors of suffering. That is what every Buddhist practitioner, the followers of the Buddha, aspire to achieve that stage. It is also called Nibbanic stage or Nibbanic peace. I congratulate the organizer and everyone who has been connected with this program for having this program organized and also being well connected. I hope everybody is getting benefit. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. All beings be happy and peaceful.
Thank you so much, Venerable Dhammapiyaji. So, as I promised you, I'll be introducing Venerable Dhammapiyaji after his session. So, Most Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya is the Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation. He is also the founder of Dhammadipa Foundation, Secretary General of Northeast India Buddhist Sangha Council, and the founder chairman of Bahujan Hitai Education Trust. Manu Banku, Tripura. Apart from holding these prestigious posts, he is also an associate professor and principal in MMD College, Tripura. He is also running a charitable residential school named Dhammadipa Senior Secondary School, along with the monastic education institution named Dhammadipa International Buddhist Academy, where over 150 Buddhist monks and novices are given monastic education and are being trained in meditation and Dhamma courses. Most Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya has also actively participated in several national and international seminars, conferences, and workshops, symposium in India, abroad, since 1994. Now let's take the session forward and we'll have an open session for question and answers, as we have received many questions from the different listeners. But because of the short of time, we'll take a couple of questions. So the very first question that I have got is for Dada Alan Hsiao. Yes, please, you need to unmute yourself, Dada.
Okay.
Yeah, so the question we got for you is there any difference in meditation followed by Mahayana and Theravada? Let me repeat the question once again for all the listeners. So the question is there any difference in meditation followed by Mahayana and Theravada? Both. So the question is for Acharya Kinle as well, but we'll first listen to the answer from Ellen and then we'll go forward with Acharya Kinle. Over to you, Ellen.
Okay. Based on my understanding, there are two major types of meditation. One type is called Samatha meditation, and the other type is called Vipassana type of meditation. So on the Samatha type of meditation, we are trying to reach the peace and harmony within our mind. We try to focus our mind, one-pointedness focus on some object. So as we do that, the mind becomes concentrated. So as we study the brain waves, so we can see the calmness level will becoming like flat, peaceful. So in different traditions, in Mahayana, Theravada, or Vajrayana, so different traditions have different ways to concentrate the mind. Some people will use the respiration. Some people will use an object, outside object. But we find that most people, when they practice samatha type of meditation, they will increase the calmness level. So in Vipassana, if we go deeper into the mind, so we observe the subtle sensations within the body, within the mind, and then we will see an increase in awareness. So these are two very different types of meditation. But the first type, samatha, I think is a very important foundation for developing Vipassana meditation. So that's my understanding of these two types of meditation. Thank you.
Very good, very good. You want to take some question?
Okay, now I would like to ask the same question to Acharya Kinleji so that he could also give his thoughts on the same question. Over to you, Acharya ji.
Thank you so much. Yes, it is like same as what Alan said. Samatha is to just first settle down your mind, because our mind will always throbbing with all these kind of thoughts and events and all this. But in order to understand clearly, first you have to settle down your mind, the peaceful mind. That is known as the samatha. Then once your mind is settled down, then you will be aware, you will understand the specifics, what is this and what is that and all this in its own terms. This is known as the vipassana. Means vipassana means to see that. And you can only see real thing as it is on its own nature. Because once your mind is throbbing with all the thinking and thoughts, you cannot see things and events. But therefore, we have to first settle down our mind. Once our mind is settled down and calm, then it's like a clear water. When the water is moving here and there, like a floating here and there, you can't see the clarity. But once your mind is settled down, the clarity, the nature of the ocean will come up. So in the same way, the first you have to settle down. That is the samatha, and once you see the clarity of the things and events of mind, that is the vipassana. Means to see the reality. That is the vipassana. So, and Vipassana and Samatha, in terms of the Theravada and Mahayana, it is same. But there are some differences in the application, and somehow in the Vajrayana tradition, and even more, there's a more sophisticated, how they apply the applications, the meditations, and thousands of different ways of doing that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Acharya ji. Thank you so much, Ellen. The next question is, with the help of modern technology, if we take Vipassana meditation, how do we know which kind of results we can get? I think Ellen would be the best person to answer because it is somewhere related to technology. So, Ellen, I'm repeating the question again. With the help of modern technology, if we take Vipassana meditation, how do we know which kind of results we can get? This is a question from one of our research scholars. So, over to you, Ellen.
Yeah, I think it's a very important question for us all, because nowadays, as technology advances, we have more biofeedback technologies with more sensor we can wear. We can monitor our heart rate, our brain waves. But I think the first and foremost is that we have to experience ourselves. This is a direct personal experience. But sometimes there could be some misunderstanding, some confusion. So I think SAMS will come in a very important perspective. It gives us a third person, more objective, more scientific understanding of our mind and the body in a more objective way. So we can take this information as an important reference, but still we have to keep developing ourselves in samatha or vipassana, and then we can get into a deeper understanding. But sometimes I see many meditators, including myself, there could be some kind of exaggeration. Like I could experience some peace of mind, but I would think I would reach jhana already. But based on other evidence, maybe it shows that I'm still reaching that just a peaceful, more peaceful state of mind instead of jhana. So I think more and more scientific research will be helpful for us to understanding ourselves better. But this comes as like a supplementary tool we can use. But still, we still have to maintain our daily practice, and then only that we can purify our mind in the subtlest level. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Acharya ji, if you would like to add something to what Ellen said, please.
Oh, yes, I definitely would like to do. This always going in my head, in my mind. Usually, like it may have like from the like scientific, from the outer object or outer waves or something minds, shows it will give some point to the mind, some understanding to the persons. But actually, it has to be always in the first person knowledge. When it comes to the meditation, vipassana, or dhyana, it has to deal with the first person knowledge. So it's not like, the modern science and technology. What has done, the scientific reason by the Buddha is that 2,500 years ago, Buddha went to in the first person knowledge. First person knowledge means it was not intervened by other things. For example, in the modern science and technology, we try to observe things and events through the media of some kind of devices, try to understand through it was mediated by something else. Then it means that you are already in the second person knowledge. You don't have the direct knowledge of what it is. So during the meditation, what it happens is like when you go to the first person knowledge, you go to the mind. That means you are having the direct access to the knowledge, things and whatever it happens. So that's why the Buddha said it has to be open and direct access to yourself. And you are the only person who can know yourself. You cannot know other person, because when you try to know the other person, then you are already in the second person knowledge or third person knowledge. So therefore, like what Buddha said is you have to go into the meditation, deep meditation, or do things in events. So this is the big differences between modern science and the traditional, or the olden science. So I think this is something clear for you. This is my point.
Okay. Thank you so much, Acharya ji. I'm taking this last question because we're running short of time. So this question is for Acharya ji. Sir, how the persons with other faith take benefits of meditation at beginner level? How the people who belong to some other faith can take the benefit of meditation at the beginner's level?
Yes, of course, definitely. Because see, in Buddhism, it's just name of the Buddhism. It doesn't belong to the Buddhism itself. It belongs to the entire humanity. So Buddha never said this is Buddhism, this is some kind of which belongs to the Buddha himself. Each and every human being has a potential to become a Buddha. Whether you're Hindu, you're a Muslim, you're Christian, whatever, it doesn't matter. It is a matter of your mind. It is a matter of your enlightenment. It is a matter of your awareness. So therefore, it is for everybody. So if you practice this one, what it was, specifically what it was given to it is in the right way or right manner. So it doesn't matter who you are. Definitely, you will get the fruit. So for example, see, if you try to cut your hand, it will cut everybody's hand. It doesn't matter. So in the same way, if you have wisdom mind, it will try to explode the problems. It will try to vanish this problem for everybody. So everybody can opportunities. and it will help definitely. So this is my point.
Thank you so much, Acharyaji. That was really authentic information for lay people like us. Now, I want to request Ellen as well to put some light on the same thing. That if the practitioner of meditation belonging to some other maybe cultural background, religious background, how would meditation be beneficial for them at the beginner level?
Yeah, I think this is one of the reasons why I spend so much time developing this application. I try to let the non-Buddhist or other from people from other religion to understand what's meditation, what kind of benefits does it bring us human beings, right? Because meditation to me is a scientific approach to understanding myself and also the world, and to liberate myself from miseries, from deep sankhara, we call defilements within the mind. But people have different concepts, different philosophy, different dogmas. So only through science, if we have a platform, so people can come to terms in terms of based on their own experience, based on scientific evidence, then we have a common ground of understanding. We can communicate with each other better. So only through science we can promote the benefits of meditation through the entire world, with despite their religion, despite their background, despite their races. So I think this is a very important era for us, which is a scientific era. I completely agree with the Acharyaji's idea is that we have to experience ourselves. But I think at the same time, we cannot neglect what we have discovered in the field of science, what technology is available to us. Like right now, we are doing this online conference, which is help us to get inspirations, get enlightenment from all these different wisdoms from different people. And at the same time, we can leverage technology in a wise way. So we won't be distracted by these advances, but instead we will leverage this technology as a tool to understand ourselves better in a more efficient, more correct way. It's like learning from another person, right? All this scientific research is done by scholars, by researchers, and also this algorithm are based on so many people's data. So these accumulated collective wisdom that we can gain in this era. And I think, yeah, I would love to spread, the benefit of meditation using in a more scientific way and communicate with people from different world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you so much, Acharyaji, for answering all these questions. Though we are getting many questions, but we need to end up the session on time. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, I would like to request Dr. Bharati for her closing remarks. Dr. Bharati is a Buddhist scholar and presently teaching history as assistant professor in University of Delhi. She cleared UGC NET JRF in 2010. She has done her master's in Buddhist studies from University of Delhi in 2010. Then after she pursued MPhil in 2012, also done PhD from University of Delhi. Her research area is Buddha's iconography. She also taught as assistant professor in the Department of Buddhist Studies, University of Delhi. Her research papers have been published in various national and international journals. She also presented more than 25 papers in different conferences. Over to you, Dr. Bharati, for your closing remarks, for your report.
Thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, namaskar to everyone. This is an immense pleasure to be here with you all. And I would like to thank Dr. Hirohitoji, who is the founder director of the Samrat Ashoka Subharti University Buddhist Studies, who gave me invitation of this wonderful lecture. Bharati University. Today, we all are rejoice the word of the wonderful and enlightening words of the great dignitaries over here. First, the program starts with the great words of the Dr. V.P. Singh, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Swami Vivekananda Subharti University, who has been shared his view on Vipassana. Sir, we also explained that how we can easily get to connect with the perfect way of living if we follow the roots of our ancient traditional way of Vipassana. Another informative lecture by Alim Hsiao, who work on science of meditation and mindful living with the help of neurofeedback application. Sir explained about brain, which is connected with our sense organs like taste, smell, and mind, which is mental state. Beautifully, he explained that how our brain waves create our mental activities, means our brain waves indicate to do the activity. He also explained the stages of mind. The first stage, when inner dialogue are quiet down. Second, in distracted mind, when we are alert. In the another stage, when we are in tension, and there was the another stage. He also explained, which is the fourth stage, in which he talked about the mindfulness. He explained the origin of this word. The mindfulness word has been used by 2,500 years ago by Lord Buddha, and he also make an app which uh, gives a great direction to our activities, which is the name of this app is Bhavana app, and we can say it is explained with the 9 mental stages, and technology becomes the tool to get peace. So he wonderfully he explained in his lecture. He explained with this app that how it's visualize your brain activity, seeing how your and state of mind changes moment to moment. And with this day and our activities are the result of this. And with this app, we can analyze all these stages. So I must say, when we all are living in this pandemic area, when we are on the only we are meeting on only on virtual platform. So these kind of apps create or will be so fruitful for everyone. Then we have another valuable lecture has been delivered by most venerable Acharya Kinley Gyalsan, who is the Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation. He enlightened us with his wondrous and informative words. He talked about the mindfulness, mind, and matter. He also talked about the inner world is the subject of mind. The stable mind is important for conduct functional activities. Inner technology, inner science is important because without the stable minds, nobody can act or react positively. He also explained that the right way of the practicing of Vipassana, one can stable with mind. And he also explained that all the solutions are in problem. Problem, if we see the problem with the right perspective, with the mindful mind, then we can get the solution of that problem. And Vipassana is not a thing that within a one day we are trained with that. Slowly, slowly, when we practicing continuously, then we can get the higher stage of Vipassana. And in this series, another one, another lecture has been given by Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya. He also explained about the Vipassana, and he uh, beautifully explained that the science and Vipassana. In science, we believe on the results, what the outcome of that research. In science, we always, what is the we find the result in the research. In the same manner, when we do meditation, vipassana practicing, and the result, as I told you, it is not a sudden activity. We just get the result very fast. It is the practicing. Slowly, we increase our vipassana practicing. And when we reach the highest stage, which is called the purest mind, the highest stage of purest mind, which is called samadhi. So he wonderfully explained, and the Dr. Dhammapiya, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, and Venerable Acharya Kinli Gyatson. Both of talk about Vipassana in briefly, and they also explain the Dhammapad's verses. Mano Pubhagama, Mano Dhamma, Mano Setha, Mano Maya, Mansocha Paduthen, Bhasitiva, Karotiva. So, in the same manner, our mind is the main cause of our all kind of activities, and how we can make our mind pure, and the way is Vipassana. So, with this, today we are heard the great dignitaries, the great scholars, and of course, this lecture is really very fruitful for everyone, because the words of the great dignitaries enlighten us. With that, I would like thanks to first I would like to congratulate Tathagat Buddha Chair Samrat Ashok Subharti University for organizing such an enlightening, wondrous, and fruitful lecture. And thank you so much for your kind input. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bharati. It is always so much pleasure hearing you, and
Thank
especially
you.
how you listen to all the speakers and sum up all the things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to request Mr. Kansha Singh for the word of thanks, and I'll take your leave. Thank you so much. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you, Ms. Pallavi. Now, most venerable Sangha, honorable Sir Madam, dear brother and sisters in Dhamma, I feel extremely privileged to propose the vote of thanks for the second guest lecture on science and application of Samadhi and Vipassana being organized by Tathagat Buddha's chair, Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, Meerut. Let me begin by giving glory to the Lord Buddha, whose action and teachings are the primary cause for all of us present here. First and foremost, I thank our chief guest, Most Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation, Chair of the lecture, Dr. V.P. Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekanand, Subharti University, Meerut. Special thanks to Most Venerable Kinle, Dhamma Master from Bhutan, today's guest speaker, Engineer Aling Hsiao, Director, Bhavana Technology, and Reputed Dr. Bharati, Assistant Professor, University of Delhi. We, read, we render our heartfelt thanks to our sponsor, International Buddhist Confederation, New Delhi, for financially assisting us in organizing this event. We are grateful to Dr. Shalya Raj, Chief Executive Officer, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, without whose constant support this event would not have been possible. Dr. Shalya Raj is a woman with a distinct vision and a noble ideas. She is a source of inspiration to everyone. She always takes initiative in academic events and takes a keen interest in events associated with the path of Dhamma. We are thankful to the organization team led by Dr. Hirohito sir, including Dr. Nilima Chavan, Dr. Harish Kumar sir, Dr. Chandra Kirti, Dr. Rakesh Anand, Dr. Shubham Kumar, Dr. Sushma Sri, Dr. Seema Sharma, Ms. Pallavi Tyagi, Ms. Prachi Goswami for all the patience and hard work required in making this event a successful one. We are also thankful to the marketing and communication team of Swami Vivekanand Subharti University led by Mr. Vishal Singh sir. We are also thankful to all the participants for accepting our invitation in a short notice of 2 days. We gathered more than 600 plus registration for this virtual guest lecture. Finally, I leave you all with this inspiring quote by Tathagat Buddha. That is, successful people always have two things on their face, that is, silence and smile. So just smile and make this life of us a worth one. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Bhante for their blessings.
नमो तस्य भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्य नमो तस्य भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्य नमो तस्य भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्य. Good evening to all. Actually, I was not in the series of this lecture. Initially, I thought that I will skip, but to say a few words, my sincere thanks to all our speakers, Most Venerable Dhammapiya, Most Venerable Kinle Galsen, Brother Alan, Dr. Bharati. I sincerely thank all of you for joining us today for this second guest lecture. It is really very good to have you after a long time since the pandemic started. I think we met in last year in December. Ellen was here in Subharti University, and it was a very nice guest lecture in last one. And this one is also awesome. Even I think virtually is better than the last one, as we have lots of viewer online. So everyone, I request Most Venerable Galsons and all other speakers, please share 1 minute thoughts on the overall event. So I will start with Most Venerable Galson, Guruji. Please.
Thank you so much. So overall view, what I have is, I think this is very important to have this kind of talks, because we know only little knowledge, and the little knowledge should not remain in one side or one stagnate in one position. It has to be shared. So therefore, through these media, you're trying to share with the whole universe, with the whole world. So even if it's not beneficial to us, it may be beneficial to somebody else. We never know. So therefore, your platform creates a big thing that, it is trying to share the dharma, which is for everybody. So dharma is not for just monks or nuns or lamas or gurus, because everybody needs that, because everybody face the problem, and the Buddha teaching is just to solve the problem. That's it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Brother Alan.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. It is my pleasure to have the second talk with you all. And I think it's important to have these talks because I think Dharma is very deep. And so I think only through our collective wisdom, we can understand Dharma in more different perspectives. So we can understand what the true meaning of Dharma and how it will help us in. So I think it not only benefit ourselves, but it will also benefit so many people. So I thank you so much for all this information. I think it will help us to continue on this path of research or understanding of our mind and body better. And once again, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Gansha.
Gansha.
Bharti, you want to say something? Dr. Bharti? I think Dr. Bharti is not getting our streaming. Okay, anyways, it was very nice to have you all here. And now I request okay, Bharti is back. Dr. Bharati, you want to say something
Yeah, first of all, I
as a
would like,
closing note?
yeah, I already given my closing notes, but
Yeah.
I would like to thank you, Dr. Hiroshi sir. I seriously, just want to say one thing about you, that I always seen one person who is always take the initiative to, to do and to spread the Dhamma. So he always conduct these kind of activities, which is very very fruitful not only for students scholars, which is really very helpful for human beings. And today's series, second lecture series, is really very important for everyone. So I would like to thank you, because now we all are living in this pandemic era when people are not stable, their mind are not stable, they are facing a lot of problems. And with these kind of words, you are giving the platform to spread the knowledge among the people worldwide, that how they can be calm themselves. And thank you so much, Alan Hsiao sir, Acharya Kelly, Yatsin sir, among. Uh, with your words, we really rejoice today. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharti. Thank
Thank you.
you. Now I request Most Venerable Dr. Anand Thero, Assistant Professor, Tathagat Buddha Chair, Swami Vivekananda Subharti University, for blessings. Bhanteji, please.
Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavantantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabbhamangalam rakhantu sabbadevata sabbabudhanubhaven sada sothi bhavantu te भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सोऽथि भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्घानुभावेन सदा सोऽथि भवन्तु ते Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.